Welcome back to my CATIA V5 tutorial. So let's answer the big question. What the hell are those pink volumes and what are they used for? I'm gonna be honest with you. There's nothing they can do that can't be done in other ways, but they do however have the distinct advantage of seamlessly blending the part design with surface design, and I'll show you what I mean by that in this video, plus I'm gonna show you a bonus utility for them that might not be so intuitive. The example I can best think of is a doghouse. No, not the ones for your canine friends, I'm talking about the ones you put on the back of plastic parts to hold clips and other features. You could do this in surfaces, but plastic parts generally work better in solid design. The problem with solid design is that it can be a bit inflexible. You have this body structure that is ordered, and it's not always easy to access intermediary geometry to base some new features off it. Plus, operations like axis-to-axis transformation to multiply features across the part are a nightmare to use. That's where volumes come in. They kinda provide the best of both worlds. You get to make parts in the part-body methodology, but you also get the benefit and flexibility from surface design operations. And also they can be used in an unordered geometrical set. So let's take a look at how we would work in this methodology. First we do a sketch, a simple square sketch, which we're not gonna bother to constrain for now, but you should totally do it. Then you use the extrude command, but use the pink volume command instead of the normal surface one. Then you add the draft to this. We select these surfaces, and then the normal surface. 15 degrees should be enough. Now another draft. Now since this feature is only demolded in Y direction, this next step is not entirely necessary, but I did it anyway. So I added another draft direction for these surfaces, but this time I used Z as the pulling direction. This probably helps distributing the loads in the part, but to save on space, doghouses don't generally have the second draft angle. Then you use the edge fillet command from the surface and notice how it immediately turns into a pink volume command. After we did the two outer radii, we use a shell command to hollow out this whole shape. This is one thing I prefer doing in solids. Now we need a draft for the top surface, because we are, like I said, demolding it in Y direction. So this needs to have a draft as well. This is going to be the neutral element, the front face. That looks about right. Okay, now we need to add a radius on the inside as well. If we're working in part design, we need to double the radii. Now we just add a larger one on the outside. Okay, that looks good. Now what we need to do is to simulate some kind of a B surface that this feature attaches to. So we create a sketch, just a symbolic wavy line. We're not going to constrain it or anything, this is just for show here. We extrude it as a surface this time. And this represents our B surface, which is the back of the plastic part. We're gonna offset it. No, better yet, let's create a new geometrical set and call this B surface. So we can move the extruded surface and the sketch in here, and here we're gonna create an offset. Let's see. Yep, that looks good. Okay, now here's where the volumes really shine. We can go back to where we have our big clunky surface, and then we reduce the thickness of that by 1 millimeter, and then we can just trim this feature with the new offset that we created. This ensures this volume is always going to be linked to the main geometry. And after this, we can choose to add a Boolean remove operation, then we remove this from the base feature. And that creates the thickness variation that usually sits at the bottom of these doghouses. Now we add the keyhole shape on top. Just gonna do a simple sketch and do another volume and use a Boolean operation to remove it from the base body. The benefit of using Boolean operation for this is that you can polish this new body as much as you like. You can add radii on it and many other features after you finish the sketch. And it's a little bit more convenient. Like I said, we remove it. And now we're left with two sharp corners here that we're gonna use a chamfer operation to smooth out. Okay, that looks fine. Except for this bit here, which we need to add two radii on it. One here and one here. That looks good. And this is perfect. All that's left to do is to attach it to the B surface. So we rename this to Doghouse. And we're gonna insert another geometrical set and call it A surface, for lack of a better name. and another one, call it final, in which we're going to assemble all these features. Okay, so we do a thickness from this B, or rather A surface that we drew. Now, what if we wanted to replicate this design in other areas of the part? So to do that, we're going to use an axis-to-axis transformation, which is extremely easy to use with volumes and surfaces, and not so much with bodies. So we add a point, center point to our keyhole that we design, and then we create another point somewhere on the part. And we're going to create two axis system. I'm not going to define them really well in this example, but you can obviously rotate the axis to your heart's desire. Now we use the axis-to-axis command, we select our doghouse, we select the two axis systems, and we should be done. But there's an issue. You see this thickness variation line here? It doesn't follow the B surface. That is a bit hard to fix using part design. But with volumes, it's a completely different story. So, instead of just transforming the finished doghouse, we're going to transform the blocky filled version of the doghouse. And we're going to transform the doghouse without this volume variation. That way we can split this volume with the offset from the B surface in this exact location. And later we can remove this volume from the finished doghouse. Then that way we get this volume variation exactly following the B surface in this new location as well, which is what we want actually. We make sure we add the radii for this as well for a smooth transition. And now all that's left to do is to join it to the main B surface. The way I do it is a union trim command. That's really helpful because you just select the union trim, you select the two surfaces, and then click on the faces to remove. And that would have been an already finished part, if the A surface wasn't just a scribble in a sketch that I did in 3 seconds. But you get the picture. Now, what's left to do is to transform this to a solid, because the way you're working, this pink volume might not cut it. So you go to part body, and then you do an add command, and then you just simply select the last volume that you created, and this just converts it to a solid body. So that's how you go from volumes to bodies. Now, I promised I'd show you a bonus use for the volumes. They are a wonderful quick way to generate filled section. If you want to present some concept or just want to show some clearance volumes, you might want your section not to just consist of lines, like sections through a surface would look like. And it's faster to create volumes and organize them in separate geosets than to create bodies. The results look much better and cleaner in those situations where you just don't want to create bodies. And that's how you use volumes in CATIA. Let me know if you found a better use for them, and see you next time for more CATIA tips.